Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be playing with some new makeup. I got a PR package from Juno Co as well as something from Urban Decay and from LA Girl, and I wanted to put them all on my face and share some of my initial thoughts with you guys. We're going to be creating this purple smoky situation on my face in a moment. So if you would like to see how I created this look and learn a little bit more about the products that I used, we're about to jump into it. All right, so my base is already on. I'm wearing the Too Faced Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation as well as my Tarte Shape Tape, two old standbys, and then I set everything down with this Zoeva Authentic Skin finishing powder. I haven't talked about this in a while, but I've been using it quite a bit within the last month, and I really enjoy this actually. It is a super, super fine setting powder. It's brightening, it's mattifying, but it doesn't make your skin look dry. It's very airbrushed looking. Really, really big fan of this. So let's move on to the fun new stuff. So I got a PR package from the Juno Co maybe, I don't know, 3-ish weeks ago or so. And they have launched 2 new limited edition face palettes as well as some eyeshadow quads. So we'll come back to the eyeshadow in a little bit, but obviously we need to get some life back into this face. So I want to reach for one of these guys right here. So they have the Margarita palette and then the Le Papillon palette, which means butterfly in French. And these are both really fun on the inside. So you've got 2 highlights, a blush, and a bronzer in each one, and they each had really, really cute patterns embossed into the pan. It's probably hard to see on camera, and I also ruined them a little bit so watching them over on my Instagram. So if you go to my Instagram and go to my story highlights, there's one that says PR unboxing, and I unboxed this package and did swatches of everything and showed everything in its pristine condition. So if you want to see that, see some up close details, I will link my Instagram profile for you guys in my description box. But these are both kind of more unique, colorful color stories that I feel like might seem a little unwearable, especially this blue shade over here. But when I swatched these, the kind of more funky colors are quite a bit more sheer than you would expect, and I think are probably a bit more wearable than you would expect. Now, these palettes are only $15 each, which I think is awesome. The pans aren't really huge, but I feel like they're big enough to easily work with, especially for the highlights. And I feel like the quality of the packaging on these is really nice. Like, they definitely feel a step up from drugstore, and I feel like $15 is about what you might expect to pay for a lot of drugstore face palettes. But I have not yet actually put these on my face. I've only swatched them, so I'm excited to actually give them a go today. I think I'm gonna lean towards using the Le Papillon palette because I think I kind of want to go for a like monochromatic purple look today, because one of the eyeshadow quads is also purple, and I feel like this would be a fun complement to it. But I may pull in some shades from this palette as well, just so we can kind of like experiment with them and see what they're like. So to that point, let's dive in. I think I'm gonna start with the bronzer that's in the Le Papillon palette. This is a fairly light and cool toned matte shade. So to me, I feel like this is gonna be more of like a contouring color. So that's kind of how I'm going to approach applying it. I'm gonna use this little angled brush from Bristles Beauty, and we'll pick up a little bit. Seems like it picks up a good amount of pigmentation, and we'll see how this applies. Yeah, this to me is definitely a contouring color. I think if you went a little too ham with this, it's gonna look like you like bruised yourself in the face. I would kind of only apply this in select areas. I wouldn't use this like all over because it's not gonna bronze. It's definitely a contouring shade. But for someone with my skin tone, I feel like it definitely does create a really nice shadow. So out of curiosity, I'm gonna go into the bronzer in the Margarita palette. This one to me looks like it has more of a sheen, and it's definitely a little bit warmer. So I think this is going to be a better true like bronzer shade. Yeah, and that gives a nice glow to the skin. It's not like overwhelming, but it's not, you know, flat and chalky, which is great when you want to look, you know, all summery and sun-kissed. I'm going to take this a little higher on the cheekbones, kind of blend into the contour. Maybe we'll take just a little bit across the bridge of the nose. Make it look like we were out in the sun. You know what this reminds me of? I feel like this shade reminds me a lot of the Kosas Sun Show bronzer in light that I've been really into lately. I feel like it's a very similar finish on the skin and maybe like slightly deeper in pigmentation. So if you've been jonesing after that and you didn't want to shell out $30-something, I mean, this may be a more affordable option to go for, and you're also getting like everything else that's in here. So maybe not a bad idea. All right, so we've got some sculpted cheekbones, liking how that's looking so far. Let's move on to blush. So I'm gonna go into this bright purpley shade here in the Les Papillons palette. It has a really pretty butterfly embossed in it. If you can see that there, I'm sure that that's just kind of like an overspray type situation that will disappear. Yeah, like basically as soon as I stick my brush in there, it's gone, which is very sad. But this one is definitely kicking up a lot more powder than the bronzer. The bronzer, I felt like I had almost no fallout, but this, there's a lot, and there's quite a bit picking up on the brush. So I'm gonna go in really light-handed. Oh boy, so I feel like right off the bat, do you guys see? That is a lot of shine, and I don't know if that's just because of the like butterfly that was in there that kind of looked like a highlight, or if that's the actual blush itself that's so glowy. Yeah, I feel like on this side, it's a little less strong than over here, where I feel like I kind of picked up primarily that little butterfly. So this, I think, is going to be something I'm going to need to test multiple times to really understand exactly what it's like once the overspray is gone. But the color is pretty. I mean, it's definitely unique. It's kind of like a vibrant orchid purple shade, which is not something you necessarily wear every day, but I feel like is very fun and fresh and like summery. Yeah, I like that. I think that is pretty. I mean, it's definitely very glowy. I wouldn't necessarily need to layer a highlight on top of this, but I'm going to anyway because I want to test the highlights out. But I feel like my cheeks could kind of like stand all on their own as is, and I think like the color shows up, but it's not like too crazy in your face. Like it was easy for me to layer on. It didn't go on too crazy pigmented, and it didn't go on patchy. So yeah, so far 2 for 2 with this guy. Anyway, I am, I think, most curious to test out this highlight next. So in this pan, there is like a kind of traditional champagne highlight here. And then there is this really cool like duochrome highlight. I think you can see it when I turn this in the light a certain way. It flips from like a purpley blue to like a bright champagne-y gold, which I think is really neat. So I'm really curious to see like how that will actually apply on the skin. Here is a little swatch. Let's see what it looks like. It's very reflective, and this does have kind of like tiny micro shimmer particles in it. It kind of reminds me of like the Fenty Diamond Bomb almost, but like maybe slightly more intense, like slightly more pigmented. So I feel like this will be a very like dramatic but fun highlight to wear. I feel like this would have been like a perfect festival palette if festivals were actually going to be a thing in 2020, which they're not. So I'm just gonna go in with this Zoeva Luxe Powder Fusion brush, take up a little bit, and we'll give this a go. Oh yeah, that is definitely like a sparkly highlight. This is kind of like a moment for sure. And I know this is the like Le Papillon, the butterfly palette, and I feel like this is not your everyday to the office type look, but if you want those super fantasy vibes, yeah, 100% getting that from this. I don't know how well it'll pick up on camera, but hopefully you guys will be able to see how like shimmery and light reflective it is. But yeah, overall, I'm really pleased with this little Le Papillon palette. The only downside I feel like to this is that I feel like you can't use the contour all by itself. Like you kind of still need an extra bronzer, which I'm sure a lot of us have single bronzers sitting around, so it may not be that big of a deal, but you know, it's just kind of a minor downside. Whereas I feel like kind of the downside to this palette is that this blush up here, I feel like is a little bit lighter. So I don't know how well this will fare all on its own or whether or not you need like an extra blush. So maybe neither of these are like 100% perfect, but for $15, I feel like they are really cute little palettes, and I think the quality is nice. I've actually generally really enjoyed Juno Co's makeup. They're definitely like an up-and-coming brand, and I know that they're best known for their microfiber sponges, which honestly is probably like my least favorite thing that they've done. But their brushes, especially like these Juno Babe pink ones, I really like them a lot. I use them quite often, especially the face brushes, and their like setting powder and their Moonstone like priming moisturizer, all really nice products. On that note, let's move on to the eyeshadow quads. So these are the Starlit eyeshadow quads. There are 4 different ones available. So the first one here is Goddess, which is kind of like the warm toned neutral quad. I have worn this one before and I thought it was really pretty, really easy to create a look. You have basically 2 mattes in here and then 2 shimmery shades, and with a glitter glue, I really had very minimal fallout with the shimmers, and I felt like they lasted well throughout the day. There was good pigmentation on the mattes. They blended nicely. I had no complaints. Then there is the Dreamer quad, which is a blue quad, and this one does have a pressed glitter in it, so if you don't like pressed glitter, just be aware of that. Also, I feel like there are no true mattes in this palette. Everything looks like it has a bit of a sheen to it, so I feel like this is probably the most difficult palette to use all on its own, and I'm not a huge blue person, so it wouldn't be my first choice, but I do feel like the shades themselves are pretty if you like blue. And then finally there is the Songbird palette, which is the one I want to use today, and this is the purple palette. So this one has 1 purple matte shade and then 3 shimmers, so it'll be interesting to see how this one works out, but I feel like we'll be able to create a nice look with this, and I haven't used this one yet on my eyes either, so I'm excited to test it out. But again, I feel like the packaging on these, it doesn't feel super cheap. It's really cute, and these are pre-ordered selling right now on the Juno Co website for $10 a piece, which I feel like is really not a bad price for an eyeshadow quad. So let's just hop right into it and get to blending. I'm gonna pick up the matte purple shade on this Bristles Beauty EO1 DL. It's basically a crease brush, and we'll start placing this in the crease. I didn't pick up a ton of product because I don't want to go in too heavy-handed to start. This is a pretty bold purple, so I feel like it might be better to just kind of like layer it up slowly and get it to the intensity that I want, rather than like going in too ham at first and then struggling to blend it out. And I feel like the pigment on this is definitely good. Like, it's showing up, it's building up nicely. It doesn't seem to be like overly patchy or anything like that, especially as you shear it out. It's not clinging in weird ways, which I appreciate. I'm just gonna keep layering and building this up. I'm thinking maybe I'll do a halo eye with this. I think that could be kind of a fun idea. You know, use this like darkish shade kind of on the outer corners and then put this purple in the middle, maybe top with like a little bit of this, or put this in the inner corner. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So I just want to make sure that I've got this crease really nice and blended out and to the intensity that I want. But overall, I feel like it's going on really nicely. I have 0 complaints. So to apply that dark shade, I'm going to use this Moda Small Eye Shader. I really like this cut of brush from Moda for doing halo eyes because it gives you a good amount of precision. So I'm just going to pat this on the outer corner and the inner corner. Dang, look at that pigment. That is intense. And it's actually going on kind of more like a satin shade, I would say. It's not completely like matte, but it's not really shimmery or like metallic either. Like in the pan, you can see that it's got like a glitteriness to it, but it's applying really well with a brush, which not all foiled shades and like metallic shades necessarily do. So I'm liking that. Then I'm just gonna go back in with my blending brush. Just kind of buff out that edge a little bit. I feel like these kinds of eye looks always look absolutely insane until you get to the very end. So I'm gonna grab some of my NYX glitter primer. I love this as a base under any kind of like metallic or shimmery shadows. I'm gonna use a little flat Juno Babe brush, and I'm just gonna put this in the middle in that empty space that I left. And then I'm gonna go in with my finger into this really pretty like lilac shade. Love that. And we're just gonna tap that right in the middle, right on top of that glitter primer. Now this part's gonna take a little bit of layering and building to like get the gradient really good from the dark to the light so it doesn't look quite so unblended. But I feel like we have a really good start there. So I'm just gonna kind of go back and forth with those two shades, making sure everything looks nice and blended together. Might take a little bit more of that purple matte shade and just pop a little bit of that into the deepest part of the crease. I just looked up and feel like I was getting a little washed out, so I just turned my exposure down on my camera a little bit, so hopefully that'll look a little bit better. But so far, really digging the eyes. I'm gonna take the E03 DM brush from Bristles Beauty, gonna go into the matte purple shade, and we will put this on the lower lash line just to tie everything together. And then for the inner corners of the eye, I'm gonna take this lightest shade on this Bristles Beauty P06 RF brush, which is a nice little flat brush. And we'll just blend this right into that deepest outer shade. All right, so shadow is done. I actually really like that a lot. It went on pretty easy. I feel like I could create, you know, a complete fun smoky look with this one palette. So I'm digging it. I definitely feel like it's gonna need the liner and lashes and everything to like really come together. But at this point, I'm not mad at it. So to stick with our purple theme, I'm going to use this Dose of Colors eyeliner in Crushed in my waterline. This is like a really deep, bright purple color, so I feel like that will tie things together nicely. And then I may use black on the top in case I want to do falsies, but we are going to test out a mascara today as well, so I want to see what the mascara looks like all in its own, and then we may or may not add falsies on top of that. Ooh, I do have this Beauty Bakery Lollipop liner, which I don't think I've actually had a chance to try yet, so let's use this. So this is a felt tip liner pen, and I don't think I'm gonna go crazy with like a gigantic wing or anything like that, because I don't typically like feel that it pairs the best. It's like not the best complement to a halo eye because of the shape of the look, but this will at least give my lash line some much needed definition. Have I used this before? I can't remember. Honestly, I feel like this whole year is just a blur. I have no sense of time. I've spent so many weeks not wearing any makeup that like I don't remember anymore. Well, I will say this much, that glided on super, super easy, no issues at all, and it looks very, very black. Not sure how matte it will dry down, but again, I'm pretty happy with that. So let's move on to mascara. So I actually have two new mascaras, the Carity Bold Mood Mascara and the new Urban Decay Lash Freak Mascara. Now I did recently try the Bold Mood out and I didn't hate it. I feel like this is a good everyday mascara. Even though it says Bold Mood, it wasn't that intense. It actually did a pretty good job of separating the lashes and making them look really, really long. And I feel like it also helped to hold a curl. I feel like, I don't know if this is marketed as a waterproof mascara. I have to look that up because I feel like the type of formula that it had, the way that it washed off, reminded me more of a waterproof mascara. It really stuck around and like coated the lashes, and like I needed a good makeup remover to get it off. So I feel like in general for an everyday summertime mascara, this one is pretty good. It's got a natural bristle brush that's not too big. It's not that difficult to maneuver. And even though I feel like there's a lot of space in between the bristles, again, I feel like they do a good job of separating and don't leave your lashes looking too clumpy. So I could use this today, but I kind of am curious about this Lash Freak mascara because this has a really unique and funky looking wand, and I'm kind of hoping or wondering if this will be a little more dramatic to kind of offset this very dramatic eye look. So this is what the wand looks like. It's got this kind of weird swoop to it, and it only has bristles like on one side, or well, there's like a little small patch of bristles on this side, and then it's got, you know, a full thing of bristles on the other. So very curious to see what this looks like in the lashes. The picture on the box was pretty incredible, but I feel like, I don't know, with some of those before and afters, it's kind of hard to trust. Are they photoshopped? I don't know. I guess we are about to see. So I'm just gonna curl my lashes quick and then we'll get into application. Oh God, right off the bat, hit myself right on the eyelid there, so that's not great. I feel like this is going on super chonky. Should I have like looked at a video on how to use this? How do I brush out the clumps? Can I? I'm trying like my normal wiggle method, and I feel like I'm just adding more and more product versus separating the lash as well. I mean, maybe I'm getting a little bit of separation there. I don't know. Well, I will say this much. This is definitely a super intense mascara formula. Like right off the bat, I feel like it's going on as if I had put on like 2 coats, and that's just in the first coat. I mean, they did name it Lash Freak, so, you know, I guess you probably would expect some very dramatic lashes. Let's just see, without adding any excess product on the brush, how far I can go with the other eye. Okay, this is the awkward thing I think about this brush kind of being one-sided, is just that when you're used to like just being able to flip your arm around and do your other eye, you kind of have to be mindful of how you're orienting the mascara comb while you're holding your arm in that awkward crossbody position. So that is a little uncomfortable. But yeah, I mean, the effect on the lashes, I feel like, is definitely pretty dramatic and pretty intense, which I don't hate. I don't have like the longest, most voluminous lashes, and as a person with a lot of lid space, I feel like it's very easy for my natural lashes to just like disappear in an eye look unless I'm wearing like 18 pounds of mascara. So at least this, I feel like, gives my natural lashes a shot to actually like hold their own with a look that's as dramatic as this one. All right, so here is the mascara on, and I mean, I gotta say, my lashes do look pretty dramatic. Like, I definitely don't hate that, especially wearing such a dramatic, smoky eye look. Like, my lashes needed a lot of assistance. I honestly wouldn't feel uncomfortable wearing this look with just mascara, with this mascara, which I can't say for all formulas. Like, there are definitely a lot that would be too natural, and I would need to wear falsies to feel like the look was complete. But I feel like I can actually get away with just mascara today, which is awesome because it's just less work for me. So application, a little tricky, definitely I think has a bit of a learning curve, but end result is very dramatic, very black. We'll see as far as longevity, flaking, smudging, irritation. I'll have to give you guys an update later. But as far as the actual look that it gives goes, I think it's pretty good. All right, so let's just finish things off with lips. Now, I have a bunch of these LA Girl Lip Mousse Velvet Lip colors. They sent me all of the shades in PR recently, which was really awesome of them. These retail for $7 a piece. And I have tried at least one of them out so far on my lips, and I did do swatches of the entire collection over on my Instagram. So again, that will be linked for you guys in the description box. But I would describe these as kind of like a moussey lip stain. They have a really, really lightweight texture. They're very comfortable. They do leave a stain behind on the lips, but the color is not quite as intense and opaque as a liquid lipstick. And the texture, while kind of leaving your lips with a shine, is not as thick as a gloss. So it's kind of in its own league. It doesn't really dry down. It kind of has that almost like soft focused blurred look that it gives. So it's definitely a very interesting, unique kind of formula. And I feel like if you really want that opaque color on your lips, you probably would need to pair it with a lip liner, which I do also have a new lip liner from LA Girl to test out that maybe we could use. I don't know if this is gonna be the right shade to go with this look. I just placed an order at Ulta and I needed to spend like another $2 to get free shipping, and this was on sale for like $1.79, so it worked out perfectly. And this is the LA Girl Perfect Precision Lip Liner in the shade Sugar and Spice, which had really good reviews. So this is kind of like a mid-toned, neutrally nude. It's a little deep, I feel like, for this look though. I'm not really sure what I want to go with. Do I want to do like a true like berry-y kind of lip? This is the shade Moody from LA Girl. So this is the most like purple toned of everything that I was sent. But then there's also this shade Stunning, which is a little bit more of like a berry pink. That could be kind of fun. And then there is the shade Squad, and that's a little lighter. I don't know, with this purple look, I'm kind of like, do I want to go monochromatic with a like more purpley lip, or do I want to pair it with something a little more pink, like this shade here, which is BFF? Will that be too much? And then if I want more of like a nude option, this is Low Key, which is kind of more of a mauve-y, nudie type shade. This actually looks like it would match perfectly with that Sugar and Spice lip liner. But still, that leaves me with the question of what the heck do I actually put on my lips to go with this look? I'm kind of leaning towards the shade Squad just because I feel like it's a little more subdued and this eye look is really intense. So let's give this a go and kind of see how it looks. This does have one of those diamond tip applicators with a hole in the middle, which I actually do really like. It just makes application really easy. So here is the lip on, goes on really easily. I feel like this is the kind of product that it would be easy to overdo, and if you applied too much, it would feel like heavy on the lips. But if you just go in with a light layer, it's actually really quite comfortable and it's not drying at all. It definitely is gonna transfer, but I feel like especially the deeper shades, they do leave a stain behind, so at least as they wear off, they'll not like fade weird and unevenly. But if you really want like a crisp lip line, again, with this type of product, I think you need to use a lip liner. But for right now, I think I'm kind of feeling topping things off with a lip gloss. And I have this Lancome Juicy Tubes in the shade Magic Spell. I got this in a little kit from Sephora. You know, they have those like Sephora favorites kits. Well, they have a new one. I think it's called Give Me Some Shine, and it was like amazing. I think it retailed for $28 or $29, and it had two full-size products. It had the full-sized Gloss Bomb in Fussy, which everybody raves about, and I haven't tried this shade yet, and a full size of the NARS Afterglow Lip Balm, which I also have been lusting after forever. And this by itself is $28. So you basically are like getting everything else for free, which I thought was awesome. And then it also came with the mini Patrick Ta lip gloss, which I really wanted to try, and the Too Faced Lip Injection Extreme, which I probably won't use because I don't particularly love like the burning pain of those plumping lip glosses. But the Juicy Tubes was a fun throwback. I have not had one of these in such a long time, but I do remember having a Juicy Tube like probably circa 2012, 2013, like when I first got into like the beauty blogging scene, and I enjoyed them. They're fun. So this is a nostalgic little moment. I'm actually just going to tap a little bit of this on with my finger, and this shade is really pretty. It's got like a gold shimmer running throughout it. Oh man, that scent. It's so fruity. It reminds me of like middle school. It just takes me back. All right, you guys, so here is the completed final look. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. I am generally very pleased, honestly, with everything that I tried out today. I think Juno Co's new launches are really fun, and I think their prices are very reasonable for what you're getting. I definitely feel like this Papillon face palette is not going to necessarily be like an everyday go-to just because the shades are a little bit more unique. But if you like kind of more funky colors, you like those glittery textured highlights, you know, for $15, it may be fun to add that to your collection. And then so far with the eyeshadow quads, I feel like I'm 2 for 2 because I really did like the warm neutral quad as well. And this one also performed beautifully. The blue one I'm like a little more worried about, I'm not gonna lie, honestly, just because A, the tones of blue are not quite up my alley, and B, there are no like true mattes in there. But at the same time, I shouldn't like write it off until I actually try it, so I'll have to get back to you on that. The Lash Freak, I'll also keep you guys posted on once I've worn it all day and I kind of see how it holds up. But if you want a dramatic looking lash that doesn't take very long to accomplish, like that definitely went on fairly quickly. Just the brush is a little bit weird. It was a little wonky trying to maneuver my hands, trying to apply it. And then the LA Girl Lip Mousses, I think, are kind of fun. They're not super expensive, and it's drugstore, so I'm sure you can find them on sale or use a coupon. I personally am really excited to use this shade here called Attitude, because this is like one of those like orangey red colors. This is like fall vibes right here. I'm not ready to start thinking about fall yet, but when we get there, I am 100% going to make a look with this. So yeah, I think that is about it from me today. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed seeing me test out these new makeup products. If you did, I hope you'll consider giving this video a thumbs up. I always really appreciate your support so much. And if you have tried any of these products, let us know what you think of them. Let us know what your experience has been. Did you like them? Did you not? It's always helpful to hear. Or if you haven't tried any of these, let us know which ones piqued your interest the most. Are any of these things going on your wish list? Are you gonna pick them up right now? I do believe I have a discount code for Juno Co. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like the worst influencer ever. But yeah, I have a discount code with Juno Co. I'm pretty sure it is an affiliate code, so I do make a small commission if you buy something using it. So I'll put that for you guys in the description box if you decide to make a purchase. If you don't, totally cool. Zero pressure. And as always, if you're new, if this is one of the first times you are seeing my face, I hope you'll consider clicking that subscribe button. That way yours truly will show up in your subscription feed and we can hang out together again in the future. And yeah, I have a little puppy that I need to take out for a potty break. She's been so good this entire time that I've been filming and just snoozing away, but I think it's time for me to go take her out. So I'm gonna let you guys go. But I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.